is ticking slow like summer rain. I feel the quiet washing out the stain. No heavy thoughts to carry on my back. I'm drifting off the beaten garden track. The clouds are moving soft against the blue, and everything is feeling bright and new. Take it light as the feathers in the breeze. Find a place where the heart can be at ease. Let the hours simply wander where they go, with a steady and a gentle kind of flow. Let the sunlight settle on your skin. This is where the better days begin. I watch the sparrows landing on the rail. The world is like a slow and simple tale. The kettle hums a low and steady sound. I feel my feet are touching solid ground. No need to hurry toward a distant prize. I see the silver lining in your eyes. The shadows lengthen on a dusty street, but every single moment feels so sweet. Take it late as the feathers in the breeze. Find a place where the heart can be at ease. Let the owls simply wander where they go, with a steady and a gentle kind of flow. Let the sunlight settle on your skin. This is where the better days begin. In the breeze, find a place where the heart can be at ease. Let the owls simply wander where they go, with a steady and a gentle kind of flow. Let the sunlight settle on your skin. This is where the better days begin. The map is laid across the wooden table, a jagged line between the life we knew. I trace the miles as fast as I am able, to find a way that leads me back to you. The silence in this room is growing taller. It shadows every corner of my mind. The vast expanse is making me feel smaller, leaving all the certainty behind. You told me that the sky is looking hollow above the city where you lay your head. I have a heavy heart that's hard to swallow, thinking of the words we haven't said. The iron rails are humming with the friction of travelers who know just where they go. But we are bound by such a strange restriction, watching all the frozen rivers flow. Oh, the measure of the space we have to carry is heavy as a stone inside a shoe. It is the weight that we are forced to marry, while looking for a crack to wander through. It is the stretch of time and dusty gravel that keeps your hand 1,000 leagues away. The more we unravel, the more we travel, to find a piece of land where we can stay. The signal fades and then the line goes static. A ghost of sound inside a plastic shell. This longing is becoming so erratic, like ringing out a cracked and broken bell. But even if the continent should widen and oceans rise to wash away the track, there is no valley deep enough to hide in that keeps my spirit from the journey back. I saw a bird fly south against the weather, ignoring every border on the ground. I wish that we could cast away the tether and lose the zitter sense of being bound. The clock upon the wall is ticking slower, as if it wants to mock the way I feel. The flame of my endurance flickers lower underneath the turning of the wheel. So write a letter on a piece of paper and fold it like a wing into the air. The morning mist is nothing but a vapor, but I can feel your presence everywhere. The compass needle swings in wide directions, trying to define the true and north. But in the web of all our deep connections, there is a steady light that shines us forth. Oh, the measure of this waste we have to carry is heavy as the stone inside a shoe. It is a weight that we are forced to make while looking toward a raft to wander through. It is the stretch of time and dusty gravel that keeps your hand the silent leagues away. The more we unravel, the more we travel to find a piece of land where we can stay. Oh, the measure of the space we have to carry is heavy as a stone inside a shoe. It is the way that we are forced to larry by looking for a crack to wander through. It is the stretch of time and dusty gravel that keeps your hand and silent leads away. The more we unravel, the more we travel to find a piece of land where we can stay. The postage paid in shadow marks the start. I spill the ink across your sleeping heart. 2,000 strokes of charcoal on the page, a paper cell to hold this quiet wage. The candles sweat until the wax runs cold, a story told in creases and in fold. I trace the lines where skin and spirit meet, and left my pride decaying in the sheet. The moon is just a witness through the glass, watching all the heavy moments pass. I wrote about the way your breathing sounds, a frantic hunt with neither hares nor hounds. I carved your name into the thickened air, until the silence became more than I could bear. The alphabet is trembling on my tongue, the oldest song that we have ever sung. This is the fever captured in the leaf, the hollow ache on which the lovers feed. We are the pulse beneath the velvet weight, the tangled limbs that challenge every fate. No longer bound by what the daylight knows, a crimson tide that ebbs and then it flows beyond the reach of every earthly law, the beautiful and devastating flaw. The envelope is swollen with the heat of every pulse and every frantic beat. The ink is wet with salt and bitter wine, a boundary that we will never define. I tore the sky to find a darker shade, to match the depth of canvas we made. The stack of pages rises like a wall between the rise and our inevitable fall. The final letter rests upon your chest, a heavy bird within a fragile nest. I spoke of how the friction burns the soul, and how the parts can never reach the whole. The scent of cedar and the taste of salt, a love that grinds the spinning wheel to halt. I left the ink to stain your very skin, the only way to let the summer in. This is the fever captured in the leaf, the hollow ache on which the lovers feed. We're all the pulse beneath the velvet weight, the tangled limbs that challenge every fate. No longer bound by what the daylight knows, a crimson tide that ebbs and then it flows beyond the reach of every earthly law, the beautiful and devastating flaw. Midnight arrives like a heavy velvet curtain, dropping over the city in a blue stain. I sit by the mahogany desk where shadows grow long. The ink waits like a dark promise in a well. The silence isn't quiet, it pulses with your absence. I take a blank sheet and trace the ghosts of your hands. 2,000 pages wouldn't be enough to hold the heat, but I'd start with the way the air bends when you breathe. This is the physical geography of craving, a map drawn in sweat and frantic cursive strokes between the sentences. I feel the curve of your hip, the collision of our skins beneath the cotton sheets. I am right in the friction and the fever, drawn in the paper, in the scent of our tangled limbs, the raw truth of the body unmasked and loud in the deep hollows where the daylight never reaches. My fingers ache from ripping the wooden pen, as if it were the bone of your shoulder in the dark. The candle flame shivers when I describe the touch, the slide of teeth and the salt upon your throat. There are no metaphors for the hunger of the gut, just a heavy thrum of blood against the ribs. I am spilling every secret we made in the shadows, every shuddering sigh they tore through the room. A stack of paper goes into a monument of lost chronicles of the hours we spent becoming one. I recount the friction of the sheets against your back, the way your muscles coil like a clockwork spring. My vision blurs with the memory of your eyes, changing color as the intensity climbed toward the peak. Now the floor is littered with discarded traps, each one a failed attempt to capture the electricity. The clock on the wall has lost its meaning. Now time is measured only by the intensity of the grip. The ink is a surrogate for the fluids of the night, flowing thick and black to tell the story of the flesh. This is the physical geography of craving, a map drawn in sweat and frantic cursive strokes between the sentences. I feel the curve of your hip, the collision of our skins beneath the cotton sheets. I am riding the friction and the fever, drowned in the paper, in the scent of our tangled limbs, the raw truth of the body unmasked and wild in the deep hollows where the physical geography of craving, a map drawn in sweat and frantic cursive stroke. Between the sentences I feel the curve of your hip, the collision of our skins beneath the cotton sheets. I'm waiting the friction and the fever, drowning the paper in the scent of our tangled limbs. They're all true for the body, unmasked and loud in the deep hollows where the daylight never reaches. The calendar bled mercury across the floor, turning pages back to when the latch was just a prayer. We folded time into small squares of vellum and stacked them high against the draft beneath the door. The ink was still wet upon your knuckles, tracing lines and maps forgot to name. Your hands are heavy with the weight of 20 centuries, dragging the scent of cedar through the hallway. The sheets are stiff with everything we never voiced, a quiet violence brewing in the thread count. We are two statues cracking in the humidity, waiting for the flood to wash the marble clean. Give me the sun and the fever of the midnight hour, where the body is a language we finally understand. Strip away the armor of the daylight and the ego. Let the friction burn the doubt right out of our skin. We are just muscle and ghost under the velvet ceiling, writing a history that the sun will never dare to read. Tear the stamps from every envelope you save, burn the addresses until the smoke fills up your lungs. There is no destination left but this narrow mattress, no witness but the shadows pacing on the wall. The spine of every book that promised wisdom, because the only truth is the pulse beneath my thumb. The city outside is a graveyard of dead intentions, but here the oxygen is thick with your proximity. I can taste the copper of the years we wasted, searching for a miracle in the wrong direction. Now the only distance left is the width of a breath, and the way your collarbone catches the fading light. Count the skies like constellations on your shoulder, each one a chapter in a tale of survival. We don't need the metaphors or the flowery prose, just the raw gravity pulling us into the center. The clock has stopped ticking in this vacuum, leaving us suspended in a liquid state of grace. The shadows are deepening into a bruised purple. The silence is a predator circling the bed. But I am not afraid of the coming darkness, as long as the heat of your ribcage stays near. Give me the salt and the fever of the midnight hour, where the body is a velvet ceiling, writing a history that the sun will never get to read. The clock face fades to white. We are the heavy pulse that breaks the silence of the right. Gravity is failing while your breath dictates the law. Deep inside the velvet heat, I find the ghost I saw. Wrap the dark around us like a garment made of fire, dragging every instinct through the wires of desire. I watch the sun surrender to the bruised and purple edge, while we still shivering upon the jagged limestone ledge. Your fingers are the needle stitching maps upon my chest, tracing out the valleys where the weary ghost might rest. The ink is dripping slowly from the feathers of your wing. I'm listening for the tremor that the heavy shadows bring. Forget the holy scriptures and the tales of ancient men. The only truth is written in the salt and sweat again. You taste like bitter lightning in the rain before it falls. The sound of heavy hammers crashing through the hollow halls. Skin against the linen, tight as a clock face fades to white. We are the heavy pulse that breaks the silence of the height. Gravity is failing while your breath dictates the law. Deep inside the velvet heat, I find the ghost I saw. Wrap the dark around us like a garment made of fire, driving every instinct through the wires of desire. The sheets are tangled rivers in a room without a name. We are the dual flickering of a solitary flame. Move with the slow precision of a planet in its turn, looking for the center where the hidden embers burn. Your mouth is a cathedral where I go to lose my soul, giving up the pieces just to feel the broken whole. There is no clock to measure how the marrow starts to melt, only the sudden pressure that the aching ribcage felt. The world is just a rumor whispered by the dying trees, while we are drowning upwards in these frantic sapphire seas. Skin against the linen, tight as a clock face beats to white. We're all the heavy pulse that breaks the silence of the height. Gravity is failing while your breath dictates the law. Deep inside the velvet heat, I'm the ghost I saw. Wrap the dark around us like a garment made of fire, dragging every instinct through the wires of desire.
$2,000 handwritten sheets sprawl across the wooden floor, stained with the gravity of what we cannot ignore. The moon sits heavy like a stone upon the windowsill, while the ink bleeds out secrets that our bodies fulfill.
I traced every curve of your name until the nib went dry.
Underneath the ceiling that mimics a bruise in the sky.
Each page is a bridge built of graphite and bone,
leading back to the fever we
cultivate alone.
We are tangled in linens that smell of wood, smoke and salt, searching for a grace that is a tether to a fault. The clock on the mantel has forgotten how to move as we slide into the hollows of a well-worn groove.
Your skin is the parchment where I map out the heat, a dictionary of friction making the narrative complete. I don't need a candle to see where the shadows divide. I can feel the velocity of the storm trapped inside.
The alphabet dissolves when the pulse begins to climb. We are trading our sanity for a fracture in time. 20 centuries of longing from compressed into a touch, where the silence screams because it says too much. The ink on your collar is a mark of the night, extinguishing the logic of the morning light. We are the authors of a manuscript that burns as the wheel of the physical slowly turns. I piled up the words until they reached your knees,
asking for a mercy that only the darkness sees.
There is no metaphor for the way a breath hitches,
Sewing up the distance with invisible stitches. The bed is a continent where empires collapse between the heavy breathing and the thunderclaps. I wrote you a galaxy, but I gave you my sweat, a debt that is paid before the sun has even set. The stack of paper trembles in the draft from the door, but we don't need the language of the scholars anymore. Forget the grammar of the decent and the mild. The vocabulary of the vain is jagged and wild. The alphabet dissolves when the pulse begins to climb. We are trading our sanity for a fracture in time. 20th century love longing compressed into a touch, where the silence screams because it says too much. The ink on your collar is a mark of the night, extinguishing the logic of the morning light. We are the authors of a manuscript that burns as the wheel of the physical slowly turns. The moon leans heavy on a windowsill, tracking the ink across this empty room. I start the first page with a shaking hand, tracing the shape of how we used to bloom. The clock is ticking like a distant drum. You said the darkness was a velvet coat. I'm sewing buttons on a memory. Each syllable is like a hidden pulse, a map of places only we could see. The lamp is burning low against the pane, and in these 2,000 tiny scars I build a cathedral out of your name. The heat of your skin is a wildfire law, burning the logic and killing the shame. I am drowning in the current of you. We tangle limbs beneath a heavy quilt, a frantic language that we spoke in sweat. The gravity of every arch and curve, a frantic fever that hasn't broken yet. The silence is a witness to the crime. I write of how your breath became my air, the salt and honey on your cooling skin, the way the world dissolved outside the door, and where holy ended to let us begin. The ink is bleeding through the paper now. memories ache from chasing every ghost. The ghosts of touches that I miss the most. The grace of how we moved until we froze. And in these 2,000 tiny scars, I build a cathedral out of your name. The heat of your skin is a wildfire law, burning the logic and killing the shame. I am drowning in the current of you. And in these 2,000 tiny scars, I build a cathedral out of your name. The heat of your skin is a wildfire law, burning the logic and killing the shame. I am drowning in the current of you. You are the heavy ink on a page that never ends, a fever breaking while the clockwork starts to bend. 2,000 messages buried in the sheets, where the pulse of the body and the silence meet. I am reading your skin like a holy scroll, losing my grip and losing my control. The moon is a pale corn tossed in a dark jar. We are miles away from where the humans are. I track the trail of your handwriting down your spine, until the salt of your throat tasted just like wine. No stamps required for this delivery of heat, just the friction of the ghosts underneath the street. Every vowel you breathe is a bruise I wanna keep, while the rest of the city is drowning in sleep. You are the heavy ink on a page that never ends, a fever breaking while the clockwork starts to bend. 2,000 messages buried in the sheets, where the pulse of the body and the silence meet. I am reading your skin like a holy scroll, losing my grip and losing my control. Forget the alphabet the scholars used to teach. There is a deeper dialect within our reach. It is written in the sweat and the tangled hair, in the desperate gaps for a lungful of air. Each stroke of your hand is a sentence of fire, burning the archives of every old desire. The shadows on the wall are dancing out of line, conspiring to make your anatomy mine. You are the heavy ink on the page that never ends, a fever breaking while the clockwork starts to bend. 2,000 messages buried in the sheets, where the poke of the body and the silence meet. I am reading your skin like a holy scroll, losing my grip and losing my control. You are the heavy ink on a page that never ends, a fever breaking while the clockwork starts to bend. 2,000 messages buried in the sheets, where the pulse of the body and the silence scroll, grooving my grip and losing my control. You are the heavy ink on a page that never ends, a fever breaking while the clockwork starts to bend. 2,000 messages buried in the sheets, where the pulse of the body and the silence meet. I am reading your skin like a holy scroll, losing my grip and losing my control.
Curtains hang in silence beneath the arches of the vaulted stone. We gather where the shadows grow in stature, leaving every hollow grief alone. No frantic motion stirs the settled air, just the steady weight of being there. You offer up a glass of crimson vintage, a gesture rooted in an ancient grace. We trade our secrets like a deck of cards, while candlelight defines each tired face. The clock upon the mantle holds its breath. In this room we cheat the rush of death, slowly drifting through the quiet tide, with nothing left to prove and not to hide. The solemn spirit meets the easy hand across the borders of this common land. We find the peace that lingers in the cause, beyond the reach of vanity and laws. The iron gates are locked against the gale. Outside the world is chasing its own tail, but here the pulse is measured and refined, a sanctuary for the troubled mind. We speak in tones that never rise too high, underneath a vast and inward sky. The embers in the hearth are glowing dim, a quiet toast along the crystal rim. We recognize the brotherhood of soul in this collective quest to be made whole. The dignity of standing side by side, with all our masks and armor laid aside. The evening sun has long since gone to rest, putting every frantic thought to test. We lean into the comfort of the crowd, where nothing needs to be proclaimed aloud. Slowly drifting to the quiet tide, with nothing left to prove and not to hide. The solemn spirit meets the easy hand across the borders of this common land. I find the peace that lingers in the pause, or on the reach of vanity and love.
The clock face froze at 3:15. The hallway stretched further than vision could see. I reached for your hand in the thickening gray as the foundation crumbled and drifted away. We are silhouettes carved in a flickering light, tracing the edges of a perpetual night. The map in your pocket is a blank sheet of ink. The more that we reason, the deeper we sink. Beneath the floorboards, a steady pulse beats, while shadows change shape in the empty retreats. You asked me the name of the town where we met, but the syllables tangle like a fisherman's net. The air tastes of ozone and ancient decay, turning our certainties into pale clay. The clock face froze at 3:15. The hallway stretched further than vision could see. I reached for your hand in the thickening gray as the foundation crumbled and drifted away. We are silhouettes carved in a flickering night, tracing the edges of a perpetual night. A mirror reflects a face I don't know, wrapped in the shroud of a sudden black snow. Is this the path that we signed in the dust when the iron of logic started to rust? The walls are exhaling a secret we lost, counting the moments and measuring cost. Hold to the collar of my tattered wool coat while the anchors dissolve and the heavy stones float. The clock face froze at 3:15. The hallway stretched further than vision could see. I reached for your hand in the thickening gray as the foundation crumbled and drifted away. We are silhouettes carved in a flickering light, tracing the edges of a perpetual night.